Okay, I'm going to do another report here. This is mostly going to be covering the border and a couple other things that I wanted to discuss. I had remembered there was a story that came out in January of 2013. I believe that's the date of this article. Actually, yes, it is. Well, the story came out in January of last year. And there's a couple other things I want to cover too, about where they've been shipping the illegals and a couple other things. So here goes. I'm going to read from this. This article here, and I don't know if anybody remembers this. Obama closing air defense system on the Mexico border. Texas and America vulnerable to attack from low altitude missiles and aircraft. I don't know if anyone remembers this story, but I just kind of wanted to bring that up since our border is now unprotected, and we really don't have anybody down there really covering major parts of the border. So I just want to cover this, and I'm going to read it for you now. It says, outrage growing over Obama cutting Homeland Security, U.S. border air system defense. White House petition asks Obama not to shut down TAR's air defense system on border. That is the updates, but here is the article. It says, call your congressmen and senators immediately and demand that the recent budget cuts do not affect the security of America's borders. The federal government wastes billions of dollars on things they should not even be involved in, but securing our country's borders is one of the jobs that the federal government is actually supposed to do. Okay, now I'm going to have some commentary here. So I guess they've had this plan for a while. I mean, because this is in January of 2013. They were already taking down, air defense systems and shutting all that stuff down. So they had to have planned this ahead of time of what they were going to do. They already knew that they were going to be just leaving the borders wide open for anyone to come in. But I don't know if people know that, a lot of people know that they took down the air defense system. That's even worse. But I'm going to continue to read here. Obama has always pushed massive cuts in the military as part of any budget cuts he will accept in fiscal deals. Obama seems to be getting what he wants, and it will leave America's borders vulnerable in attacks and other infiltrations. Air Force air defense radar systems along U.S.-Mexico border will shut down on March 15th, 2013. So this has been shut down since that date. On January 17th, 2013, Elexis Systems Corporation sent out an email to all of its employees informing them that on March 15th, 2013, all TAR's air defense mission operations will permanently cease. The TAR's air defense sites were under the control of the United States Air Force. On January 15th, 2013, the Air Force informed I'm going to spell this out, okay, in case I'm not pronouncing it right. Elexis, I can't say it. The defense contractor running the TAR's sites, that the TAR's sites will be shut down. Elexis tried to negotiate with the Department of Homeland Security to see if they would take over the vital project, but it seems as though those negotiations have failed. What does this mean? This means the southern border of the United States of America will be more vulnerable to attack from low-flying aircrafts, low-altitude missiles, and other infiltrations such as smuggling. Speaking on the condition of anonymity, one Elexis employee had this to say about the announced closure of TAR sites. Not only will this closure mean hundreds of people will be out of jobs, but it also means our borders will not be safe, especially along the remote U.S.-Mexico border like in Texas. The defense radars detect low-flying aircraft infiltrating our borders. Without these defense radars, low-flying aircraft will go undetected. It will be open season for any drug, gun, slave smugglers, terrorists flying in with nukes, low-altitude missiles, or even a full-scale low-elevation invasion attack against America. According to the Air Force's website, the Tethered Aerostat Radar System, or TARS, is an aerostat-borne surveillance program using the aerostat as a stationary airborne platform for a surveillance radar. The system is capable of detecting low-altitude aircraft at the radar's maximum range by mitigating curvature of the earth and terrain masking limitations. TARS provides a detection and monitoring capability along the United States-Mexico border, the Florida Straits, and a portion of the Caribbean in support of the Department of Defense counter-drug program. The primary agencies using the TARS surveillance data include U.S. Northern Command in support of Customs and Border Protection, Air and Marine Operations Center, and Caribbean Air and Marine Operations Center, and U.S. Southern Command in support of Joint Interagency Task Force South. In addition to its counter-drug mission, TARS surveillance data also supports Northern American Aerospace Defense Command's Air Sovereignty mission for the continental United States. This is an email sent to all Alexis employees January 17, 2013, announcing closure of TARS air defense sites. Subject: TARS contract update. Tuesday, 15th of January 2013, we received a government request for a proposal, RFP, to de-scope and close the TARS program by the end of the fiscal year. The government indicated that it does not intend to exercise the final two option years for the TARS contract. In the RFP, the government also indicated its intent that the aerostat flight operations will cease on March 15, 2013, and that the remainder of the fiscal year will be used to deflate aerostat's disposition equipment and prepare sites for permanent closure. We are currently reviewing all the details of the RFP and evaluating the possible impacts on the program and our workforce. We continue to communicate with the government on this matter, and we will have more information in the coming days and weeks. The TARS program provides a critical capability to the U.S. government, and we will remain focused on providing that service in an uninterrupted and robust manner. The best thing we can do right now is to continue to provide the outstanding TARS support that has become the Alexis hallmark, while allowing the company and the government to continue discussions on how to best support our customer, the program, and our workforce. We will provide regular updates as we know more. Should you have a specific question, please address them to Tim Green, Program Manager. Okay, so that's the end of that article right here. And it's entitled, if you want to look it up, because several people covered it in their blogs, it's the title of that is Obama Closing Air Defense System on U.S./Mexico Border, Texas and America, vulnerable to attack from low-altitude missiles and aircraft. And Texas GOP vote put this out. But there's several other sources for this, and I'm sure you can find it. And I'll put the link down in the comment section. Now what I want to cover is the resemblance of these maps here that I have. Most of this is just like a strategic thinking. It's speculative, but if you look at the maps, I'm going to show you, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now this is where the illegals were transported. This is a map. Okay, and I want you to look at all these in red. I don't know if I can get it on here. I'm trying to do this where I can see. It is... I'm so bad at this. But anyways, I hope you can see this. But you see all the red markers here? Every single one of these that have major red markers is where the government has sent the illegals. Notice it surrounds most of the United States. Well, most of them are port cities. They are really, really compacted around all these port cities. Okay? So now what I'm going to show you is this is, the other day there were several cities that had major internet outages. Missouri St. Louis was major, the ones where you see the red there. Now, they managed to get these people's internets back up and running, but my question is to anyone, do you think this was some kind of test? Because a whole lot of people lost their internet a couple days ago. So I wanted to cover that. I actually wanted to show this other map before this one, but I'm going to go ahead and go to this one. This other one, if I can get it on here. I had it right here. Here it is. Okay, this is the Ebola quarantine map. These are all the quarantine stations. There we go. These are all the quarantine stations. It would probably be better if I just do this. This is all the quarantine stations. Okay, notice all the little yellow markers? Looks familiar, doesn't it? Okay, so now I'm going to bring this other map up here to show you side by side. I wish I could do it side by side, but this is where they supposedly shipped all the illegals. If you see here, it's around the surroundings of the United States, okay, and they're majorly compacted in the port cities, where all our major ports are. Then the quarantine stations, okay, same general areas. Basically what I want to say about that is, now this is just my strategic thinking. I was watching not too long ago the Art of War that the History Channel put out, and I know a lot of people have probably seen that already, but I wanted to bring up the fact of the Vietnam section, when they started talking about Vietnam and how there was a massive attack on Tet. That's a holiday over there, and they had put all these people in strategic locations around there, and they had all decided to attack at once. Okay, if you look at these maps and you see what I'm going to get to, I guess I need to explain myself here. I don't know if y'all have heard of the rancher that went out on his property, and he had found rugs, and he had found, you know, where people had used for praying and stuff like that. And then he also found how they had it from Arabic to Spanish. So these people are learning how to speak Spanish, and they're not Spanish. And they're coming over and, you know, crossing the border and stuff like that. And you know, not all of them like us. So they're learning how to speak Spanish, saying they're Spanish, and now they've been shipped to all these surrounding states and stuff like that. But I'm going to put that video, it's like 7 minutes long. I'm going to post this on YouTube, and I'm going to put that at the end so you guys can kind of look at that, because it does show a map of that where they set up and everything like that. That way you can kind of see what I'm thinking here. And I'm hoping this isn't true. But I mean, the reason why I wanted to cover that 2013 article is because he planned this. I mean, why would you want to take down your defense system surrounding your country? That just makes no sense at all. And then they come on the news and they're like, ISIS, 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 ISIS. And then they put this guy Foley video out of this guy being beheaded. I mean, it's almost like they really want to scare us, but they don't want to take the precautions that they're supposed to be taking and putting our radar systems up and defending our borders. It just doesn't make any sense. And then I'll also add this other video to the end of this when I post it on YouTube. You had on Fox, a general came out and said that he thinks that there is enough evidence that he thinks that we should go into DEFCON 1. That is like the highest freaking level there is. And you know, when a general comes out and says that, that's pretty serious. But yet our borders are still open and we don't have any radar defense systems. What's going on, guys? I mean, even if you don't agree with me on my beliefs, my political beliefs, you still should be worried about this. I mean, no one's going to be safe if we have this enemy that wants to come in and kill us, and they've said they wanted to kill us, and they've actually came out and said they wanted to fly their flag above the White House. You've seen all the Christians being crucified and killed and shot by the hundreds and stuff, and then they're saying they want to come in and do this to us. There's something wrong with that. I just don't understand why people aren't getting upset about this, you know? Yeah, we have, you know, disagreements on social issues and stuff like that, but when it comes to our safety and our defense, that's something that we should be, like, coming together on. It's really serious. We should not be fighting about that point right there. Okay, I can understand if you want to argue about other stuff, but our defense should be coming first. We need to close the borders down, and we need to get our air defense systems back up, and, you know, we need to be protecting our country. It's just, there's no time for bullshit. No more bullshit. We're living in a kind of time right now where we need to be at our utmost, you know, really paying attention instead of arguing about stupid bullshit and get what we need to get done. But I also wanted to bring up this other article too because it's kind of important. It doesn't really have to do with the border, but I will say this. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who disagree with me, and that's okay. You know, this is what I consider We the People media, which means if you disagree with me, fine, make your own videos. Okay? You can make your own videos. You can... I'm doing this because I'm stepping up my game. I'm worried about my country, and I love my country, and I worry about the citizens of this country. I worry about my kids' future. So what we're going to talk about here is there's an article that came out called Additional $3 Gas Tax to Take Effect January 1st, 2015. Okay, the reason why I wanted to bring this up too is because people need to know about this. If I was you, if you're a prepper or if you're not a prepper, I would be going out and getting a barrel and filling it up with gas, and then putting you some kind of treatment in there so that it will last longer. I mean, you could still use it and just fill it, you know, refill it up every once in a while, because nobody's going to want to be paying. I know we pay like almost $4 a gallon here, so that's what, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's almost, well, probably about $8 or more, in some sense, a gallon. Then you have people that work for minimum wage. There you go. Obama wants to raise the minimum wage, so how is he going to get his way if Congress doesn't want him to do it? Or if Congress doesn't want to pass it? Well, let's see, let's just raise the gas tax. No. That's just going to make everything worse. You're making it harder on people who are living in poverty. It's not making it better. Imagine if someone's, you know, got a job and everything, and they're having to ride the bus to work every morning, but they're putting their money back to save to get a, you know, a car to drive to work. And yeah, oh, finally they got the money saved up to do this, and then now they got to pay $8 a gallon in gas, and all their paycheck goes into it. That's stupid. So anyways, I'm going to read this. Hopefully I have enough time on my phone. It says, in the title again, additional $3 gas tax to take effect January 1st, 2015. And the National Report put this out, so I guess it's nationalreport.com. An environmental bill long championed by the Obama administration and environmental groups was quietly signed into law this week. The bill, initially expected to fail, was bolstered by last-minute support from a group of moderate Republicans seeking re-election in predominantly Democratic-leaning states. The bill strengthens environmental pollution penalties, emission standards, and creates a surprising new $3 a gallon increase on gasoline. So, just so you can see this, here's the article. Okay. Many House members who voted for the bill say they are shocked by the significant tax increase on gasoline included in it, and claimed that they were unaware of its inclusion. Of course they were unaware! Miss Nancy Pelosi, just sign the bill so you can see what's in it. Kind of bullshit, huh? Well, maybe you should read it before you sign, huh? Wow. And claimed that they were unaware of its inclusion. At over 1,000 pages long, many of the subsections of the bill likely remained unread by congressional appointees or their aides. The tax authorization was buried in a supplemental section dealing with otherwise minor changes to infrastructure standards. The $3 tax appears to be earmarked to a newly created environmental fund that will be used to modernize transportation infrastructure, making it more energy efficient, environmentally friendly. A provision in the bill allows for redistribution of funds for the green projects with approval of the House Environmental Committee following the completion of the modernization overhaul mandated by the new law. Okay, I just got to stop right here. Okay. I understand that people want to save the earth, okay? I get it. And I think we should recycle, and I think that we should do the best that we can to try to help the earth, okay? You should not take from the earth more than you need. You should not hurt, harm, or purposely harm the earth. But you have all these electric companies, okay, who have a monopoly on electricity. Why don't you just give people the opportunity? Now, I'm not saying the government has to pay for all this or everybody has to do it. But you should give people that live in the city the opportunity to independently put up their own solar or wind turbines. Okay, that would help a lot. But they won't do that. They don't want to do that. You know why? Because they can't make any money off of it. They can't make any money. I mean, most of this is a money's game. This is another thing I was, like, in my last video, I was talking about how, you know, what separates us is social issues and stuff, and you know, most people will follow a certain person if they agree on that certain issue. But in the process, under tyranny, you lose all your other rights in the process. Okay? It's just it's insane. You know, they're using you, okay? They're using these groups, and they're using other people, knowing that if they say, oh, we're going to do this for the earth and all this stuff like that, they get all the people who are really that have a high belief in the earth and stuff like that, and taking care of it. They're going to follow them, and but the government's going to use you, and these corporations and all these people that are behind this that know they're going to make money off of it, they're using you as a tool to make more money. It's not about the earth to them. It's about the money. Okay? They're putting, okay, and I know you know this. Okay? So you can't argue with me on this. They're putting GMOs in our food, and they're putting fluoride in our water system. Fluoride is a toxic waste product, and they're putting it in our water, and we're drinking it. I just had a friend tell me the other day that she had a tumor taken out of her, and it was fluoridated. Okay? So fluoride doesn't just go on your teeth. It goes in your body, and it calcifies things inside your body. So we need to understand, and we need to think independently, and we need to quit believing everything we're told in the media. Okay? We need to start doing our research and looking at different stuff, because not everything that you're hearing is the truth, because most of these news stations are owned by the corporations. But they're only covering the issues you want them to cover because they know they can use you as a tool. I mean, you might disagree with me, you might get pissed off at me about this, but I'm just being honest, okay? Because I've looked at both sides of this situation, both sides of it. I've looked at, I've researched the articles and everything like that, and the propaganda is insane right now. But, this is kind of a long article. I guess I can read the rest of it. Or, no, never mind. I'm just kind of all over the place. I just kind of got some sad news today, so my mind's just kind of everywhere. But I just wanted to make sure that I covered this and put this out. I guess I could put the links to these articles in my comments on Facebook, and I guess I'll put it on YouTube too, so people can go to it and read it, so that way they know I'm not, just blowing smoke. But I guess I'm gonna get off here, and then I know this.
That brings me to the most disturbing part of all this. Obama is making an act of high treason, and if this doesn't disturb you, I don't know if anything will. He is closing our air defense system on the U.S.-Mexico border. There ain't a damn thing one of you shills can say about that. You want to support this? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're going to come and attack me about? Huh? Because this is BS. This man's closing the air defense system on the U.S.-Mexico border, leaving Texas and America vulnerable to attack from low-altitude missiles and aircraft. There's quite a few different leaks here that I'll leave for you. But what they're essentially doing is stopping their contract that they had with Excelis Systems Corporation, which was contracted to do this job, and they're terminating the last 2 optional years of the contract. And they had sent a letter to them that they want this whole operation shut down by March 15th. So if the general being kicked out, told to have his bags packed early, out by March, and now by March 15th, you have our border air radar systems being shut down, completely dismantled permanently. We can take a look here at the email that was sent out from this company to its employees, stating that it received a government request for a proposal to descope and close the TARS program by the end of the fiscal year. And it indicates that they do not intend to exercise the final two-year option on the contract. Okay. It also indicated the intent that aerostat flight operations will cease on March 15th, 2013, and that the remainder of the fiscal year will be used to deflate the aerostats, disposition equipment, and prepare sites for permanent closure. These sites will be shut down indefinitely. Like I said before, if you can't see what's going on here, you better wake up quick. The Chinese moving into the Gulf of Mexico, buying up land all over the place, and if any one single rumor of all the Chinese, the military, the photos, the videos of all the Chinese equipment that's down in Mexico are true, and they drop these air defense systems, it's not going to take much for 1 million Chinese to get across this damn border and to come and take what they believe is rightfully theirs, because they paid for it, and your government and Obama is selling your country out right underneath your feet to the Chinese and other interests. I'm warning you, this is not good at all. You have got to think like the enemy in order to defeat the enemy. And if I'm the enemy of the U.S. anywhere in the world, and I see that they take their air defense system down on the Mexico border, guess what? It doesn't take a genius to figure this out. This is disturbing on many levels. This is high treason by Barack Obama. You need to write to your congressman. You need to talk to your senators. You need to get on the ball on this, because I'm telling you, if this just goes slipping under the radar, just like all these missiles and any other aircraft are going to be doing across our border, then we're smoked. I'm telling you right now, this is high treason. You do not drop our air defense system on any border, especially to a wild country like Mexico, with all the drug cartels, the shootings, the killings. Obama's running our guns down to them that he's taken from us, giving them to them, and you wonder why they want us disarmed. Because one day, as soon as this dollar collapses and this economy collapses, the Chinese are going to come for what they paid for, and they're going to do it in the belief that they rightfully own it. Y'all stay sharp, man. I'll leave links. Till next time, Dabu 7. And watch out for the timeline of March into April 1st, 2013. Okay? This is Dabu 7, January 22nd, 2013.
This is Dabu 7. And when it comes to this border crisis, many people wanting to know where it all started. Well, to catch a criminal, you got to follow the paper trail. And in doing so, it leads back to the U.S. government. What they've done, and the official links, the original links to this, are already broken. But all you have to do is go to the search and type in immigration, and you will find the gold. Now I want to give a shout out to Dace over on GLP, who tore through this 844-page PDF, finding all of the good stuff. And he highlighted quite a few things here. Now what I want to point out is that, what is that? How many zeros is that? Billion shall be made available to the Secretary during a 5-year period of the enactment of this act. Comprehensive Southern Border Security Strategy. You guys are with me? The money, billions, was being coughed up in 2013 toward this border. Now, if parents are deported, a relative caregiver, an aunt or somebody else would take first priority, but there's going to be so many of them that any one of them can take their pick of a family member. Now check this out. On the later date of the enactment, October 1st, 2013, $6.5 billion was transferred from the general fund of the Treasury to the trust fund. $6.5 billion. And it's broke down right here on how they're spending it, with $50 million being available every fiscal year beginning in 2014. Right on cue for this border crisis, huh? Wouldn't you say? A lot of other information here, talking about an agricultural worker program. I mean, can you say Monsanto? Anyone that signs up and meets the requirements of this program can bypass all the other stuff you got to go through to become a citizen. Blue card status agricultural workers are only subject to a $100 fee instead of the $1,000 fee. In a period of 8 years, if a blue card worker works at least 100 days for 5 years, they automatically get changed to citizenship status. Can you believe that? Anyone who files for blue card status and provides fraudulent information on the form can get burned, obviously. But they get free legal assistance for anything related to procuring a blue card status. It goes on and on and on, guys, about these workers. There's a brownie point system. If you learn to speak English, you earn points, and the more points you earn, you can eventually earn your citizenship. Here in the United States, this whole thing is mapped out, and yes, it's quite lengthy. And here you see this. You get 15 points if you have a doctorate, a certain number of points depending on your age bracket, points for civic service, points for speaking English, type of work points, caregiver points. Oh, and I forgot one of the big ones that I don't see here. They have to sign up into the military service. Can you believe this? This is what they're doing. This has been planned out, guys. Right here, this government got together, set billions aside for it, and here, a year later, it's happening. Right in front of your face. So you want to know who planned it? They did. It's right here in the PDF. It's right here in the information, word for word. They wrote it. minus putting up a border fence that they speak of and more fencing, everything else is in their control. The money, the security, the agents, the plan, the whole nine. They're busted, and the whole thing's exposed at this point. This is where it all began. Sure, there's more details to the whole orchestration with other countries like Mexico and Guatemala, and you can go on and on and on, but this only happened because the United States let it happen. And once again, I'll leave links in the description box. Get it while it's hot because the first link's already broken. Like I said, search immigration, and stay tuned for the following video because I'm going to be exposing this huge operation, their plan to house these people. I'm going to show you exactly where they're going to do this, and they're going to use this exact same money that they planned to set aside, and they're using these exact same non-profit organizations. It's sick. It's all right here, the proof, guys. It's been Dabu7. Eyes open.
What are you hearing from your contacts?
Well, let me say this. On the 7th of September, a major news network and a major publishing network are going to put out a book, and it's going to be earth-shattering of what's happening and what happened. And the fact is, we may even see on 9/11/14 MH370 resurface again. We should be prepared for anything. We should go to DEFCON 1, which is our highest state of readiness, and be prepared as we lead up to 9/11.
When you say a major news organization is coming forward with a publication, what are you referring to specifically? Can you allude to that? Do you give us more details about what you're referring to?
I can't give you any more than what I've just said, but it is going to be extremely important, and America should take notice. We are less safe today than we were 6 years ago. Lieutenant General Mike Flynn, the director of DIA, who's retiring now, has pointed out that they have almost doubled the radical Islamic organizations in the last 6 years, and probably a 30% increase in the force structure.
So you're saying we should raise the terror level threat at this point ahead of the anniversary of 9/11?
Absolutely, Uma.
Well, that's very sobering, and obviously something we're going to obviously watch very carefully. General, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much.
Sun Tzu says, in battle, use a direct attack to engage and an indirect attack to win. In the art of war, you should always try to deceive your enemy. Pick a place you want to attack, then attack somewhere else to divert his attention. While he's distracted, capture your real objective. Giap has done everything he can to prepare for the Tet Offensive. He uses spies, secrecy, and deception. The time to attack is now at hand. January 31st, 1968. Fireworks crackle. It's the Tet Lunar New Year. Suddenly, the celebration turns deadly. More than 80,000 Viet Cong troops carry out simultaneous individual attacks on more than 100 cities, villages, and U.S. bases all across South Vietnam. The Tet Offensive has begun.
The Americans and the South Vietnamese are shocked. They were stunned. They had thought the enemy was on his last legs, yet reports are coming in from everywhere, every city, every town, every base, that they're under attack.
U.S. commanders see the map of South Vietnam light up like a pinball machine.
We couldn't believe that they had moved this many troops this close to the cities, and they very patient, had taken months to position arms there and troops and give them cover. An amazing logistical feat.
Giap's informants lead the Viet Cong and North Vietnamese troops through the streets to strategic targets. One group captures the national radio station, while another blows a hole in the wall of the American embassy and fights its way onto the grounds. The Tet Offensive looks like it might succeed, But the North has ignored one very important Sun Tzu principle, and it will cost them. Sun Tzu says there are 5 fundamental factors for success in war: weather, terrain, leadership, military doctrine, and most importantly, moral influence. Moral influence means a leader must have the will of the people behind him. Otherwise, a war will ultimately fail. It's an important clue in solving the mystery of whether Sun Tzu predicted America's demise in Vietnam. As the Tet Offensive rages in 1968, the Viet Cong carry blacklists and assassinate South Vietnamese sympathizers at will. One of the most brutal massacres takes place in the city of Hue.
They massacred 5,000 people in Hue, many of them government functionaries whose only crime was that they